everyone, welcome to IC Arts, the channel for artists and illustrators. I'm excited to see you here today because today we are learning to develop a character. In this video, this is part one, I will be showing you how I develop a character that will be this pumpkin witch. And we will be working on a sketch, talk about proportions, shapes, character traits, and you could also download a free guide, which is 2 pages that will be very convenient for you anytime you decide to work on a specific character you have on your client's brief or the one you want to create. And in part 2 of this video series would be me coloring this illustration. I also want to mention that if it is at all possible, try to create an illustration with or without any background, but thinking right away how you can use that illustration commercially. So yes, it could be just a pumpkin, but you could figure out how you could use that illustration. What usage for this illustration a client might possibly have. So keep that in mind and let's get to drawing. I want to show you something that really helps me every single time when I work on my character design. That would be the application. It's called Xmind. I'm not getting paid or anything. It's the application that helps you to create mind maps. And I would be making a video a little bit more about that because it helps really us, the artists, and not only the artists, in working on our projects better and working with our ideas better. So my idea, my storytelling would be some pumpkin witch, right? I'm combining the pumpkin and the witch, and I want my pumpkin to be playful, kind of friendly. I don't want it to be a spooky scene. I also want her to have maybe the attributes of a witch, probably only the hat and maybe the broom. And I was looking for just some Halloween costumes, and I found interesting details. Like I probably want to have a buckle on my witch, pumpkin witch. I love the shape of these hats. There's a straight one, and then we could also add whatever we want. These are just like accessories, and I could add some spider web, and this is just like an example, or she has here a spider web on her hat, which is interesting. And some other attributes could be like different characters like cats and ghosts are all Halloween themes. And then we could add so many other themes, like maybe a broom. If we are not sure, we will think about it, but in the end we will know that we kind of had that idea. And of course I've added some pumpkins here because there are different shapes of pumpkins. I even have a few to show you, like this shape of a pumpkin versus the most traditional one, but this is kind of like smooshed versus to the round shape. I mean, there's so many different pumpkin varieties. We could get crazy creative about it. And of course, the pumpkin leaves or this pumpkin vine is a solid part of the pumpkin, so probably I would love to have it too. And just going for color palettes and going a little forward, I am working on the hands course. It's just a little course that I am working on so I could share with you the knowledge I have. And this knowledge entails the ability to create hands projects that bring you customers. And most likely for those, we would need some commercial use. So we're not just doing an illustration for the sake of illustration, we're trying to think what we could do with it. And on that course, with this pumpkin, I will be working on some candy packaging design. I'll show you every single thing you need to know in order for you to be able to do that. But for now, there are other uses, of course, other commercial uses for our illustration, from Halloween postcard to maybe party invitation to packaging paper, some posters with some cool caption. Obviously, character design on its own. If you're into children's books illustration, there could be some book cover or just a little story with those characters. So, and a great thing about it is that I could even easily transfer it to Procreate, and I could have it handy and use it anytime I need to. So it's like all my references in one place. My canvas, the size of my canvas I'll choose would be a square one. It will be 3000 by 3000. And number one thing I would love to start exploring with you would be the shape of a pumpkin, because I have an idea of a classic shape, but let's just see what other shapes that could be possible. So I'm going to use an easy sketch brush. That's the brush in my Illustrator kit, and you could use any brush you're comfortable with for sketching. So let's talk about shape, right? Shape is very important for our character.
right away think that my shape would be round, and we know that pumpkin has these sections that sort of make it like a wave, and we could see each section going after another. I'm not sure I want to have these sections very distinctive because it is a character and I want it to be more of a smooth sort of appearance. But if we're talking about a pumpkin like this, we could just add the sections on top of this circle shape and it would give us a more realistic look like that. And let's even add a little more. And then somewhere like here in the end, we would have the pumpkin tail. So these are obviously sketches. It gives us just the idea about different shapes. Now our shape could be a little squished. And for this, since it's digital illustration, we could even use the distort tool. So if a shape is like this, and it already is more elongated, and if we even want, we can make these sections longer. Now we could also use probably a shape that resembles a butternut squash. It's actually one of my favorite pumpkins if we're talking about the taste, and for that it would be more narrow on top and it would be wider on the bottom, and all the other sections would sort of repeat the same pattern. So perhaps one more we will be able to see like this. And then obviously we could see things happening from behind. We won't need that for the character, and we could also use some of that. So see, this is a completely different shape. Now we could go real easy and do more of an maybe oval shape right away. So if I'm just gonna even start with ovals and do it like this. Oh, but actually no, I want it to be here, to end here on the bottom, and this was give us another shape. It's resembling this, but it's more boxy and square. And again, our thing right here, we could even do something as crazy as this. I think let's try like oval shape right here, and then something like this. Because if you go to the store and you look at different pumpkins, you would see so many different pumpkins there. It's just crazy. They're so beautiful, all of them. And what else can we come up with? Maybe just as simple as this. Maybe we'll do one like this, one like this, but again, they need to have a connection in the end. One like that, and maybe just one like this and one like this. That's it. Not very many. It will not, and this one could have like maybe a very long tail. So it's just a matter of experimenting. And again, it could be different types of um, circles, ovals, ellipses. Just use your imagination. So I think I will go with a classic shape like this, but I will not have my sections very distinguished. I would just make it smooth. So I will start with circle and I'll make it even, and then I think I want it to be a little bit like this. So this would be the shape. I'll make it bigger in the beginning and then we would adjust. So this would be the shape for my pumpkin. So I want her head to be a little tilted, so she's gonna probably look on top, but we're still gonna see her up front. And then we'll just draw a little bit of her body right here. So probably I'll cover it in some leaves. And this is gonna be her hand. She will be holding a broom, perhaps. And I'm not sure her feet are going to be this long, but maybe, but actually no. So the broom and the feet supposed to be way shorter. Um, I want the proportions not to be even here, so I cannot have her body same length as her feet. So we will need to think something up. I would either need to make her legs longer, but I don't like that. So then I would try to make her body a little longer and her feet her feet really shorter, like perhaps like this. So this way, if we're talking about proportions, I have three different proportions, and that usually works pretty well. Now, it's just a sketch again. I'm just reminding you. I am thinking I would do her. I would do her maybe some shoes like this. Um, I don't know yet exactly what's gonna be on her feet, but probably something bulky. Although I know she's a witch, but she's a pumpkin. She needs some strong feet to be able, to carry her large head. And something she's going to do with her hand here, I don't know yet what. And since that's the broom, maybe we'll do a broom maybe we'll give like a little dynamic to the broom as well, maybe making her a little bit. And let's see. I'm not sure I like the eyes as round, maybe, because it's sort of like round head and round eyes. Like maybe like this. Some light she's gonna have in her eyes. This would be her one eye. Copy and paste her other eye, but without eyelashes, right? Because eyelashes would go on this side. Then she might have a little nose, and she probably should be smiling, right? It's Halloween and it's like a lot of fun. We're gonna give her some eyebrows up there. Very happy she is. Now, I know she doesn't look like a pumpkin yet. And what we need to do is, I don't have enough space for her hat, so I'm gonna make her smaller. I'm gonna try and make her hat. So let's think, the hat would start, I want the hat to be like elegant, maybe going on one side like this. And so obviously this would be the base of her hat. Like right here, I was thinking, remember, of doing some buckle. And now I'm thinking that maybe I could do a buckle that would look like a W, since she is a witch. Let's see. Right now she looks like an old grandma or something. That's the shape of her head. Of her hat, right? So here, let's see. I had my references. Should have looked at my references, but ideally, I liked that there was some action on the hat, which is like this. Okay. Something like that. We could give some curves to the hat, right? Make it more organic. And to be honest with you, I think I want this part to be bigger, way bigger. Here you go. Her eyes, her eyes. Let's leave it for now. Let's work on the pumpkin head shape. How do we make it happen? So we will just need to add the pumpkin sections. But you remember, I didn't want to add pumpkin sections, so they are very distinctive, sort of here. Maybe like this. See? Okay, then I do not want to have a lot of division this way, but let's make it here like this anyway. It is a pumpkin, right? There's got to be these divisions. Okay, what we're going to do now is say if we're happy, just going to remove all these divisions from all the vital parts. Right here we have a little situation which we do not want to have. So let's go where the mouth is. That's actually the reason why even when I'm sketching, I try to work on different layers. It really helps me to work faster when I need to adjust a few things. So just by doing this, I see that I like it better, because right now nothing really touches her. And one more thing I think I would redo here is this line. simply seems to be too straight. The body, I think I want to be like a dress maybe, but I want it to look like the shape of the leaves. You could just add some texture to the leaf. Down, copy, and then let's paste it on the layer where we are working. And here we'll just need it to go, maybe make it a little bigger. So this is my idea. I want her dress to be all like combining of the leaves. We could draw the leaves, of course, or real fast. We could just do something like this and see if we even like it. This idea. I'm thinking maybe 3 leaves would be enough. All right, guys, my phone died and I was waiting for it to charge. In the meantime, I didn't really do much. If she's going to be looking at somebody on top, this eye is supposed to be a little lower. And so we have to do that by just sort of choosing the eye and bring it down a little lower, like that. And perhaps I would even go and bring this one a little bit up. This is better. Not too much changed, and I will want her to have some sort of like blush. Let's just work on the head a little bit. As I said, I wanted, so it's gonna be like a belt here. It's gonna go like this, and this is like the center of her hat. And let's just see if I can go. I don't think I can use W because it's like she's a Wonder Woman. Let's see if I could use P, since she is a pumpkin. And we don't really know if it's gonna look good or not. But if we make a pumpkin a little bigger, right, like here, maybe. And it's gonna also cause some questions like, what does it mean? Is it P for pumpkin or it's P for something else? So, okay, we could leave that idea here for now. I just added a little bit something here, like decoration. I'm also thinking maybe of adding like a leaf or two because, well, she's a pumpkin, right? And supposedly she would have leaves here. Also, it kind of makes the pose, I wouldn't say dynamic, but it adds something to it. Maybe 2, like that. Why not add it to her? Just let's pick the right angle. Why not add it to her hat? And then maybe we could even, I kind of like that. And then maybe we could have a spider. We probably wouldn't draw a spider with eyes or anything, but actually we could, like this. What do you think? We could also do a spider. It was my other idea. If we add some spider web in here somehow, which is totally possible. But this is just ideas, and we would see how it works or not. And then another spider could probably be going down there. And I also was thinking that the spider web is sort of like circling around like that, holding like this. I still decided that the one leg will go a little bit like this. One will be sort of straight, and the other one would go in this direction. Sort of, she's like in action. I was thinking maybe just something like this would work, but you know what? Let's go on top here, and it's like it's probably going to be green. I think it's going to look good green. Something like that. I kind of like it. Right now I see that I like the buttons. They sort of add a cute detail. And perhaps she might be standing like this leg. Should we make her, you know, like some kind of, maybe. Let's leave it for now. I need to figure out at first how her legs are gonna go. If this one is gonna be like that, perhaps. The only thing I think is the angle would be a little wrong. This would be a better angle for this. We could add some details to her boots as well. I just don't know what they could be at the moment. And here you see we have her legs, but they are, I don't like that they are for some reason wider at the bottom. Shouldn't be like that. Even legs. And let's see. This leg should be a little bit shorter. And then we could actually even copy this boot right here and put it here, but obviously higher. Let's All right, guys, so this is where we are currently, and I think I'm liking everything. I just need to figure out, again, her hands and her broom. I've also added these lines. Now I'm looking at her hand, and I'm thinking that it looks kind of too stiff. I don't want it to be too stiff. I want it to have a little bit of a curve to it, so that, you know, like this. And that would be my guide, basically, when I'm... So I think I like it like this. And the only thing I would do is put it a little higher like that. So she will be holding, and this hand then is too long, but it already has a curve and I like it. The only thing I would also need to do is to add a curve to the sleeve, which is gonna look something like this. Because I don't know if the broom actually does look like a broom, it's kind of small. But on the other hand, I think we could, but I don't want to make it too close. And this is kind of the hands I want to do. So I had another idea. Maybe I'll put a broom here and trick-or-treat basket here. So let's just go ahead and try and create the trick-or-treat basket. Whatever is going to fit the bill, we'll put it on. So some attachment here. So this is going to be my basket. Now let's see. I'm not drawing the hands because they're supposed to hold things differently. So if I have a basket that's going to be sort of like hanging over her hand like this, where she's going to hold it somehow. So this could be a basket, and here we could have the broom. Also the bucket, I want a bucket have more movement, so she's just like casually doing it like this. And then I think the broom doesn't make sense. And we could just figure out, maybe we could draw, you know, this candy that is usually associated with Halloween, since it's the basket for the candy. And you know what else we could do? We could also write trick or treat here if we have the room, something like trick or treat, like this. So this could be her basket, which is going to draw the hand. And here, guys, no idea, honestly, what she's going to be doing. Now let's figure out how she's going to be holding her bucket. I'm thinking perhaps it's going to be like this. She's going to be holding it like this, but we need to turn it a little bit. So that's going to be, maybe I even draw her thumb. All right, I don't know what's going to happen with this hand yet, but I am feeling that for the ghost, I would need to resize my canvas a little bit, perhaps to just make it bigger, because there is no room for the ghost for me. So we could do ghosts. Actually, there's so many ways to do the ghosts, and what I like to do is I like to maybe make some weird shapes like that. And my ghosts would be kind, so they would be smiling. And this is just like one variation, but I don't like the way it's going. So let's just maybe make one going like this, like he is gonna be, perhaps he could wave at her too. What do you say? Is that too much or no? And then we could have others, other ghosts. What do you say? So this way our ghosts would be kind and they would be waving, and it sort of makes sense, right? We could do maybe one like peeking from another one, sort of behind like this. Yeah, I guess we could. And we could even add, of course, some, we need to add some ground here. I don't know how that's going to look yet. All right, so perhaps she's going to be waving. So she's going to wave hello like that. So, and how many fingers do we have? We have 4. So we're going to have her thumb and 4 fingers, and perhaps we're going to even twist it like this and maybe make it higher. So she's like, hello. We could even make a speech to her where she's going to say hello. What do you think, guys? I think it's cool. I think we could live with that. So all we need to do right now is draw everything beautifully, like the hands, because I have 5 fingers here and I'm supposed to have 4. Honestly, I always draw my characters with 5 fingers, but for this one, it's 4. This is what I'm gonna be at, and then real fast I will just show you the variations of the ghosts that I had. Let's see which ones we want to keep. I had this girl and with different eyes. So let's take a look at her and see which ones we like better. So this is version 1. Then I had version 2, partial freckles. So the difference is actually the mouth here. I think when the mouth is so much on the side, it makes you not as cute. Now, this version is eyes are a little squished, and I think it doesn't look very cute either. And this one actually has different eyes altogether. And looking at them now, I kind of think that it gives for a more playful look. Let's see this one versus this one. Okay, so I guess it could be both, really. And I still believe that I would be staying with this version in this mouth, although I understand that these eyes look actually pretty cool too. I don't know. I haven't decided. Let's just try. Let's try and do these eyes and different mouth. Maybe put it a little bit like this, so it's a little bit more similar to the one we are comparing it to. When I'm done with figuring out my sketch, so I went with these eyes, I make everything as one group. These layers were just for me to work at, and I could just get rid of them. And this would be the layer that I would then reduce the opacity. For now, I need it just so I could make my sketch neater. Of course, we could already work with this and color it as is, but I always like my sketch to be very neat. Sometimes I even pick some other colors, not maybe the black, but some dark blue color, and I would go from there. So for that purpose, and after that, I would just go all around my sketch. And here, for example, also a very interesting element. If I go geometrical, I think it makes it much more interesting. I just don't like how I did here, but here maybe some more I could definitely add. See, we just got something new. And then I think it suits a witch a little better. But if we want to do a very kind witch, but I don't know, kind which would be a fairy in this case, right? What do? We probably make our lines very smooth and very neat. Okay, so same here. We're just using those lines. Don't like it. I wanted to sort of go like this. All right, better. Okay, so I would still keep these lines because they indicate that my hat has some volume. And let's now go ahead and work on the P sign. I would get rid of everything in the center and perhaps make it bigger like this. Okay, so that's my P for pumpkin. Now here we were doing the spider web, which we will keep, I think. Let's just, also I feel that the neater sketch you have, the easier it is later on for you to color it. And also, if you send a client a very, very messy sketch, the client doesn't really have your vision and the client doesn't know how it's going to look, especially if it's the very first time the client works on something like this. Then the client might simply not understand what's going on. And then when you color your work, the client will ask you for edits that could be avoided. That's why I always recommend everybody to work on the sketch as perfect as you can from the very beginning. And what we will do once we're done doing this, we will flip our sketch and try to look at our characters sort of in reverse. I think I did these things as they remind me of a mushroom. That's why I did them. So I like the way this spider web is. So I'm just gonna, I like that it has like the ends finished. And let me see, okay, like it. And then here is the line for another spider, his tiny eyes. And the way I colored in the center, I show you how I do this. I like doing it especially for clients. The reason being it separates the area very well and it's easy to see. So I usually choose like a soft brush and I work this area with the soft brush, and then real simple, I just get rid of the excess, whoops, and reduce the opacity. It's very important sometimes, maybe when you have so many things in your sketch, that distinguishing different areas with this technique makes it so much easier to understand what's happening on the illustration. And again, that is vital for the clients. So we could reduce the opacity. Maybe it's too much. And now let's bring it back to our original sketch. And since I had some things here, I might add them back like this. And here we need to change the brush. And here I had this round things. I don't know what that is, but I kind of like it here. Now we also had the leaves. So let's just get back with the leaves. Let me see, this leaf is going on top, and this leaf is gonna go behind, and we won't see this part of the hat. Okay. Okay, so done and done. Now let's work on her head. All right, let me follow the lines. Make it a little more round here perhaps. And do these 2 lines here. Okay, now I will work on these things and I will make sure that they are round, so they follow the shape of a pumpkin pretty much, like this. Okay, and they don't need to be on even distances, because as we've seen in the pumpkin, it could be pretty random, but it depends again where we will be putting our eyes. Like, see here, I already see it's not a good idea. Let's first work with the eyes. On the separate layer, I'll work with these eyes because if we don't know where the eyes are, then it's kind of hard for me to work on these layers. The reason I like these eyes is that they are a little bit like squished, which means that she's smiling. It's, you know, it happens when our cheeks go up. This is when we have that effect. Let's just draw her eye. We can make the eye more complicated, meaning we could draw the iris in the pupil. For that purpose, I think that's pretty much what we'll do. I usually like to do it with a studio pen, but this brush has a pointy edge, which I love for the eyelashes. I just don't know why it doesn't happen to be the way I really like it. Boom, boom. Okay, maybe like this. No, too playful. I want it to be like that. Okay, I don't know if I want, let's see. So I would draw the light areas because I think it makes for a cuter, so to say, face. And here, let me just draw this thing here, which will help me, which will help me to identify where my eyes are gonna go. And I already see that this eye could go like this. And now let's draw another eye, which is gonna go here. And supposedly it's going to be a little bit more squished because it's on the other, it's the one that's further away from us. But mine happened to be a little bigger. Let's make it a little smaller and put it a little bit like that. Wait a second. I think that's what I want to do. And same thing here. Would do the pupil that sort of continues to be here, but I want to make it wider, similar to the pupil in the other eye, right? Our eyes looks like won't be twins, will be sisters. And then I will continue adding the rest of the eye, and I will try my best to make even eyelashes. And now we also need to add the light, very similar to the other eye. Okay, so now I see that my eye is a little bit too probably small. Okay, this is better. And I need it to be the same. Okay, so here, whoops, just too much of this. Like this, I'll make it like this. A little big, make it smaller. It's kind of hard to see. I will need to get rid of everything right now to see how my eyes look like. How are we looking? Okay, this is how we're looking. We're actually looking pretty good, I would say. We could copy this eye, obviously, so we have the same exact eye, but we don't have to do this. The only thing is I would continue, make this one darker because it kind of makes things look a little weird here. Okay. Okay, so I'm all right with that. We don't need this anymore, but we need our sketch, obviously. And so we'll assume that this is the middle of her face. And if that's the middle of her face, right, then we will need to add another line which will identify the middle, which is probably going to be somewhere here. And we need that so we know that the eyes are evenly. So this, if this is the middle line, then we are okay. And this would help me to know where my nose is going to be and my eyebrows. So let's see, I'm going to draw a little tiny nose right here. And we will definitely see her eyebrows here, but we won't see them here because the hat is covering it up. But I don't know, maybe we could, if I make them closer, then I don't think it's going to be for much of a cheerful look, because ideally I want both eyebrows to be seen, but let's leave it at that. And let's see, the mouth I had was this one, and this is the one I will be having. All right, she will be smiling, and I will have the blush. Perhaps I wouldn't be drawing it as is when I'll color, but the blush looks okay. So now is finally the time I would get rid of the things we have here and the sketch, because I would need to draw these lines, and these lines would help me figure out how to make it beautiful. All right, I think this might be what I'm going with. Maybe not. Okay, real fast on the next layers, I will continue. I will finish everything up and I will get back to you so this video doesn't really last a long time. A few things I normally do once I'm done working on the character. So for example, I have my character in the group, I would flip it horizontally and then try to see if everything looks off. So for now, I see that perhaps this eye looks bigger than this one. So what I could do is I could just choose this eye and make it a tiny bit smaller, so it sort of fits the proportions better. I also see that this line seems to be too straight to me right now here, versus when we were flipped, it didn't. So I actually am thinking that this line is also very curved, and basically all the lines are messed up. So, and I only saw it right now here. So that's why I think it's important to flip your work as much as possible. So I will try and work the better lines right now. So I like this one better, but now it sort of doesn't continue. I already flipped all my layers. So let's just try and continue how it would naturally go, and see if we like it right now. Okay, I like it much better right now. Here, this line is so thick that it's also hard to see if I like the line. So I will just real fast make it thinner, or at least same as the other ones. Okay. All right. So what do I think about it now? I think it could be okay, although not a big fan on how it is, how the shape is right next to the mouth. I don't know if I could flip it, but I think I could. I could flip it like this, and I like it better like this. Well, these lines will be in the way because that's the pumpkin, and I do want to have those lines in. Okay, so I think this is it with the lines. Now, looking at the hands, looking at the feet. Now, this leg seems to be shorter, but if she would be walking, then I would say it is possible that, like when you bend the knee, it would be shorter, but we didn't draw any knee. So let's just go ahead and try to make it a little longer. And since I already even added the third line here, I could maybe do the same here, and let's just see. Yeah, I think it looks better. Other than that, I would say that I like my pumpkin and everything else looks fine. Let's just go ahead and flip it back. Okay, and I decided to go with all candy here and decided to go with all candy here and trick or treat bubble here, and I added like an exclamation mark with a little spider.
I hope you guys enjoyed this sketch video and you got some useful information. In part 2, do not forget to watch it. I will be coloring this illustration and give you even more tips and tricks. If you like this video, please put the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below or just say hello, and I will see you in my next video.